Okay. How are
There
you,
we go.
Victor?
Good man. How are you?
Nice to see you, bro. Long time, eh?
It's been a while, man. It's been a while, but life is busy and productive at the moment.
That's good. That's good. Very happy to have you today, mate. I think that since our first joint venture, 2015, 16, when we went to Brazil and had that crazy thought of bringing syntropic agriculture to Australia, and look at
Yeah,
the result. It felt like we planted that time rain like very slow growing forest. That seedlings are popping up everywhere from that little joint venture that we did.
oh man, that was amazing. To me, still that was the best course we've done, or I've done, and I've done many courses in syntropic agroforestry. And that one with us, Namaste, Patricia, that first one in Byron was just incredible. And we sown so many seeds throughout Australia. I mean, the result speaks for itself, eh? All that investment that we've done and time we spent and just working hard. And to me, outside of Brazil, Australia is the leading edge in syntropic agroforestry, man. There is just so many people practicing and learning and advancing and finding the challenges as well, It's not easy, but it's been an amazing journey, hasn't it?
Yes, and as you said, the result speaks by itself. Like you see, today, the other day, we were doing a search on where syntropic agroforest or syntropic agriculture there is more search about it, where there are more people
Okay.
searching about it. And then first is Brazil, definitely, and then second of all, it is Australia. And I believe that because I think your background of wanting the knowledge to be passed in such an academic way or in a way that people can really understand that. I think that thoroughness, the way that you work with bringing things in such a high quality, and my background of marketing and events and wanting to make this is a big thing, was such a good thing. Remember that we wanted to bring like 4 or 5 different teachers all at once,
Yeah.
remember? and
Well, I'm glad it didn't happen, man. I'm glad it didn't happen. It would have been just crazy.
and
I
then
think the tour was great. And, I mean, it was great because we were then able to bring the other ones in. I mean, we were never able to bring Ernest, but I think we got the best of the second tier. Let's say if Ernest is the first tier, we got the best one out. And yeah, look, I think that's part of the drum. I think we always trying to push for excellence. I think it's if we don't go all in, I find with syntropic agroforestry, it's just there is just too many gaps in the end. So we went all in, and we've kind of focused and worked hard to create this amazing vibe. I think in Australia, which is it's more than growing food; it's really growing a community, I think, and people kind of getting together and make it happen.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so for the people who didn't follow the journey, basically Victor and I we met in around 2014, 15, and then we were both in our own journeys of learning about agroforestry or wanting to learn more about syntropic agriculture. At the time was syntropic farming. Yes, there was agroforestry only. I wasn't even syntropic at that time. Ernest was just practicing it, and then we met and we connected and we thought about bringing the knowledge and go to Brazil and learn from the best. So we did an immersion where we went to visit the best spots that was happening at the time, where people were really practicing agroforestry at the time, and then we got a few teachers and brought them over to Australia for a workshop, and then we did 2 workshops at that time, where we had introductory and then an advanced one. That was the first time that syntropic agriculture landed in Australia. And then after that, we brought Karen Hanzi. And then in the future venture, Namaste came through someone else. And then Enrique came a few times, and then Murilo. So since then, most of what I call the black belt people who were practicing for a long time, they came to Australia, deployed the knowledge here, got us to understand a little bit more the depth of the what an agroforestry system can do in this environment here. And then from there, we start practicing in our own context. And Victor's been teaching a lot of online courses a couple of times a year, getting a bunch of people to level the knowledge, raise the bar of the knowledge of agroforestry, because that's another thing that we need to think about. There is a lot of people who come to a 2-day workshop and they become experts, and then they start teaching what they learned in 2 days, and they don't understand the full picture of what it can be done in different contexts. So I think your journey of really picking the knowledge and bringing it and doing it online with people, bringing people to a whole new level, it's really good. And I went and I was doing a lot of presential workshops all over Australia and all over the world too. So what we created was a community. And today we are here to talk about our experiences and how to translate these principles into a small scale, because we understand that syntropic agriculture, it's so complex, but it's not complicated. And we want to translate that into how people can translate that into their backyard, or how they can grow it for subsistence. Is that what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, man, I think that's the idea. To me, syntropic agroforestry always has that sound, that system has to be big and needs to be commercially viable and all that kind of stuff. And the more I practice, I mean, I've begun my journey there in Australia as well. I started the first kind of syntropic farm, and trying to go commercial as well and that kind of stuff. But for me, it just didn't really excite me so much to go into the commercial venture. To me, the details really is what really sparks me. I mean, I am a researcher by trade. I am a researcher by passion as well. So I really like to push things into the next level. Really look deep into, how do we make those decisions really? How are the different nuances in each human being's sight and life that makes it unique? And then how can we translate this kind of broad overview idea of syntropic agroforestry, that we can see lots of recipes there with the bananas and eucalyptus and citrus kind of being replicated throughout Australia and throughout Brazil as well. How much nicer, instead of that, we can create something unique, something that not only bring to us food, yeah, great, but also brings a beautiful place to be, a place that we can go and really connect in a deeper level. And when I was into the commercial side, it almost becomes just another job, in which, in a sense, that you are there just to do the tasks and do the harvest and do the processing and do the packing and do the management. And it kind of loses, to me, it lost a little bit of the fun. It lost the enchantment, let's say, that place that we are actually creating something unique, something magical, something like it. To me, is a perfect kind of marriage between the landscape, the climate, so kind of this natural force, and then a human being coming behind it and really organizing it and really putting our skills, our knowledge, our capacity really to observe and make decisions at appropriate times. And to me, I take syntropic agroforestry much more of a lifestyle, much more of a, something that I enjoy, do it on a daily basis, really. And that's what I try to bring to people. How can they make it? What I try to do is not so much teach syntropic agroforestry, but teach how to think syntropically.
Yeah.
It's the sweet spot, the cherry in the cake, or whatever we want to say. Just and we can only really do that at the depth that I enjoy, at the kind of the small scale, the subsistence, the family, the community, when we actually got people working not only for the outcome, but they are actually working in the process. They become the part of the process. That to me is it's next level.
And when you say that, like, needs to be fun and needs to fit into your context, okay? That's what I'm understanding from that. It means so people who are watching here and they want to do it, or they're already doing it, and they have their challenge. We're talking about growing enough food that you can eat yourself or share with the community, We're talking about fitting in your lifestyle, how much time you can dispose or allocate for that activity. That I would say the playtime in the garden, and also how much money you want to put into it and who you got to help you out. So, because if you really think about the end goal of a subsistence system is to feed yourself and to feed your community. And when you think about the global agriculture, what feeds the planet, it is the small family, small property, small, we call it familiar agriculture in Brazil, but it's like pretty much a small scale agriculture. That's where most of the food that we eat comes from, you know what I mean? And then I think that's the fun bit that you and I, especially for me recently, I switched from wanting to do 50, 100 acres to really going to the backyard style, you know what I mean? How to translate the principles so people can really apply that. Even if they don't apply the full complexity of the system, but they understand that the plants, they will live better if they are in the community of group, in a community of plants living together. And that community of plants, they need to have that there is a rule, there is principles and processes behind that, you know what I mean? And that's where most of the people fail in this process. So Victor, tell us, when you say translate that into a backyard or to subsistence, how do you see that picture? How do you see that movie happening for people who wants to get started, or they're already practicing it and they are encountering some challenge?
Yeah, man, look, good question. Look, to me, I think there is this preconceptual idea that we need to be using, that we want to always be creating a forest that is going to last forever and things like that. But if we give a step back and we actually understand, what are the functions of those plants, how are those plants being organized? And really, it's all about having density and having diversity that flows through time. So anybody in any scale can do that. I mean, I do an exercise in my courses, which is a 1 square meter or 3 feet square exercise. And in that exercise, it's very nice to do, where I create a mini veggie forest. That's how I call it.
Oh,
so
wow.
I put 45 different seedlings into it, to make it easier for people. It is a little bit of a waste of money, let's say, because we're not going to harvest all of those 45 seedlings, but I break them down into 3 time scales. So we have a time scale that is kind of up to 30 days, and then a time scale up to 60, 70 days, and then a time scale that is more than that, usually 3 to 4 months. And then we kind of create a special little design, not super special, just kind of space them around in that 1 square meter. And then in between, so we create 5 rows, spray them around. And then in between those rows, I usually just use some kind of green manure, kind of cover crop, something to really kind of get into a miniature agroforest, or a miniature food forest. And it's really exciting because in a matter of days, literally in a week time, bare soil to basically 100% photosynthesis. I mean, people get surprised and they go, man, what's happening here? And then, of course, now starts the question, what do I do next? Because it's beautiful, this explosion. And that happens in every climate. I mean, when we use the appropriate plants, the plants that actually can do the job there, doesn't matter if you are in the Mediterranean, if you are in the temperate, in the tropical, subtropical, wherever. When we pick the right time and we put density and diversity, things just explode. And then the fun begins. But also the challenge begins, because now we have to start coordinating this growth. We have to start to really be, the manager of it. And start to decide which plant's going to stay, which plant's going to go, and how things going to go, and how we're going to prioritize things. And it's such a beautiful, such a powerful exercise that in literally 3 months, 4 months, anybody in any way can be in a windowsill. It doesn't have to be a 1 square meter. It can literally be a foot by a foot square, and you have just 20 plants growing into that. You can get a feel of the pleasure and a little bit of the complexities of managing these systems.
So
So
what are you trying? What?
as the
No, go
best
on.
way to this complexity into something manageable, something affordable, something that anybody can do with little investment, but with great benefits in the end of the day. And you can really then go, okay, I enjoy the process and I want to go a step further. I can go for, let's say, 2 meters or 3 meters or a small little system. Or you go, no, actually, I prefer to do other things, which is totally fine too. How do you find in your systems? Because I know you've been doing quite a few projects in schools and other things there around the area. Uh,
So,
how is your approach? How are you translating this? How are you?
so I use
Yeah, get it.
a very similar approach. So I subdivided that into what I call a seasonal veggies and salad system that goes exactly what you said with up to 90, 120 days. Okay. And then I do a system for the climbers where we have all from the short, fast growing plants, beans, tomatoes, and all the climbers, all the way to a kiwi or grapevines or passion fruit. That would be the last end goal. And then I do what I call a mini food forest or a mini syntropic system where I have the end goal. I say that creating a system like this is like not a picture, it's a movie with many pictures. So what would be the last picture of that mini food forest? And then try to put all the support species with, so I separate that in different systems. So it is easy for people to set up on their backyard. And I think it's more, how can I say, it's been very receptive, not only by the schools, restaurants, and nursing homes that we've been working with, but also a lot of backyards, people in the cities that they want to grow food. And if you really think back in Brazil where we were growing up, not long ago, let's say 40, 50, 100 years ago, most of the food, our grandparents, great-grandparents, they were growing a lot of the staple food in their backyard or within the neighborhood, and they're sharing it. I think that's my new approach that I want to bring back to, because thinking that a lot of people will move into a farm or to lots of land acreage, it's not going to be, yeah, a lot of people want to do it, but as soon as they do it, they realize how much work it is to maintain it. They want to go back to the lifestyle that they had. So I really want to translate these principles and these methodologies, these systems, and bring that back into a city context, and people are loving it. We can go, as you said, as simple as doing one little pot of plants, putting 20, 50 plants in a square meter or 3 square feet, how to do that. And people are loving it. But Victor, tell me a little bit more about the challenge that you encountered, because people get enchanted by agroforestry. They want to learn, they want to practice it. But tell me some of the challenge and benefits, because we spoke a little bit about the enthusiasm that you get about learning the journey. But tell us a little bit about the challenge and the pros and cons. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Look, challenges are many, and I think we have to be honest to people. I feel a lot of the times, there's all those beautiful little videos on YouTube, which we produce as well, as part of our marketing or part of our sharing. But it also is equally important that we share the challenges. And the biggest challenge is not knowing what to do. And that is for everybody. I think we would be kidding when we go like, oh yeah, we are an expert, and at this point in time you do this, and at this point in time you do that. That is to me the biggest challenge, where yes, we can plan, yes, we can design, yes, we can, let's say, predict on how things would go, but at the end of the day, in tune with reality. If we are not getting out there, if we are not observing how those plants are growing, how the plants are moving, how the plants are interacting, then we will never know what to do. That's for sure. If we are following a predetermined manual or what's written in the book, I mean, there isn't even a book, but what it was written in the book, then we're going to be making really bad decisions, and that is a given. And I think we've all been through that, where the book says, oh, such and such plant is a high strata, but it seems to be a little bit overshadowed by that other plant, and we do a really abrupt kind of management, and that other plant suffers a lot and really gets kind of punished, let's say, for something I didn't do. So that to me is the biggest challenge.
Knowledge.
Is and the time, yeah, not only knowledge, but kind of knowledge of observing how things are moving. Because not I can 3 months do this, or when the plant is this big, do that. But we can only make those decisions when we can access, a site where things are growing, and we go, okay, so how is this tree or how is this plant impacting onto that plant, and then this plant, what time of the year are we now? Is the moon going this way? Is the rains coming? How hot it is? Because we got to bring a lot of variables together to make
Yeah.
those decisions. So much an experience really, but observational skills is something that really takes time to learn. How can we observe and assess that a plant is moving in the right direction? So what are
And
the clues those plants are giving us that we can go, okay, I think this plant is happy. Oh, ooh, I think this plant is starting to deteriorate. It's kind of moving into a weird position, or it's really thriving now, and then we can move accordingly. But
what are the benefits?
yeah, I think that's the polarity of that. When we are then engaging into those systems with such presence, with such meaning, with such kind of co-creative power, then it becomes a much more interesting journey. It's, the tomato in the end of the day, it's not so valuable because we are looking at the tomato bush grow, we are observing things. I mean, in our greenhouse, we've got a nest of birds. There is two beautiful birds. And my partner Cindy just goes there kind of on a daily basis and takes pictures and things like that. So we start to relate to our systems in a very different level. And that to me is the biggest high, really. And then in the middle, we've got health benefits, and we've got, of course, nutritional benefits. We are eating a quality of food that, let's be honest, you cannot find. Doesn't matter how rich you are, you will not find a place to buy the food that you've grown. It's as simple as that, and it's a different relationship there. So the economic return, it's multifolded. Let's say there is multi benefits into that. For
Okay, so let me interrupt you here. Now, that brings me back to I was teaching at a school last week, okay? And you see, it's been a term. So we started in January. So now they finished the first term, and they had the last day of the term. The grandparents came to the school to spend the day with the kids. That's part of the school program. And then to see the grandparents, the grandparents, there was a lady, she was 92 years old in the garden planting a tree with her grandson, and then the grandson and the great grandmother talking about plants and eating fresh, harvesting cucumbers straight from the garden and eating it. And then she got a little cucumber out of the garden and said, oh my God, it's been like tens of years that I don't taste a cucumber like that. It brought her right back to childhood when she used to grow food and at her farm, you know what I mean? And what you're saying there, the benefits of growing your own food, that is not only the connection with the planet as a whole, okay, understanding where you live, what's our place into this planet between the forest, the food, the community, the elements of nature, but also the reward of harvesting nutritious food. It's great, mate. It's really, really good. So I really would like to go towards pretty much. I want to do these short lives here, and we're gonna do again next week, okay? And
yeah,
tell some people to inspire them to wanting to learn about what got you into this, Victor? What inspired you to come and wanting to learn about agroforestry, or wanting to learn how to grow food? Because I remember when I went to your house, when you were learning about agroforestry, you had a beautiful edible landscaping design at your own place. You had chickens at the back. You had all kinds of cherries and berries and food growing in a landscape. But tell me, what inspired you to go through this journey?
Oh, look, man, to me, the more that I understand the human being, we have the biggest gift, which is to be free. And when we're free in a natural landscape, it's just it's just paradise. We don't need paradise anymore. We can just create. We can create an image. We can create all the sense experiences to be in paradise and to be empowered, really, to be empowered that we can do something that it's not only good for ourselves, but it's good for everybody. I mean, people come here and they get amazed just by the smells, by the amount of birds and the amount of bees, and life just starts to to explode. It's such a contrast to today's reality. I mean, everywhere you go in a number of times, and that happens to my mom and dad. I mean, they come here maybe once a month, and every month they are amazed on how things changed, on how a different birds show up, or a different insect that they haven't seen, or a different fruit. Because I've planted here, I don't know, I've got 75 different types of fruits from all
Wow.
climates in one kind of place. I'm trying to, manage them all and having fun, and struggling with the ants that come and do a bit of damage in the plants that are not so adapted. But that's it. I mean, to me, it's really when we use our freedom and use our gifts and use our resources and use our consciousness and our capacities, and we put that together with an understanding of the natural world, we literally create a different reality. We create something that has never existed before. It's like this kind of human nature thing that shows up, and it's like it's the first thing ever. So why not? Why? I mean, I feel like I'm playing God. Sometimes I play because I kill a lot of things too. But it's fascinating. It is just every day is a new day when we're interacting with those life forces, and we can mold them in different shapes, in different forms, and to whatever rock our boat. If I like pomegranates, why not go and and just have the fun? How did you get into that? How do you find inspiration to keep going? Because I think that's part of the journey as well. How is
Man,
it for you?
man, for me it was I wanted to have a different lifestyle, and then when I went to search about how to grow food, I went to all the communities out there, and I saw that was beautiful. There were people doing great things there, but I didn't resonate with that and didn't actually hit my heart. And then I saw Ernest doing this exactly as you said. I'm part of nature. I can play God. I can create paradise, and that's what really enchanted me to go and see it. And then when you go and start learning about syntropy, as you said as well, it's not only about learning about plants, the forest. It's like learning about the whole universe, how we are part of the whole thing. And for me, learning all the way how to create those systems. And then for me, what really gets me now is how to translate that into people's different contexts. Okay, how to bring that into people's understanding, because we've been doing that for like 10 years nearly now. You know what I mean? And what it is obvious for us, for many people, they don't even know the difference between a climbing plant or a shrub plant. You know what I mean? What it takes, how long it takes. So for me, what gets me going is I see that there is a lot more work to be done to teach people and get people to grow food. And the face that you get when people harvest, you see that all the time at your farm with your family or friends that come to visit, or even students when they harvest their own food. That's priceless to see their face, like, oh my God, that's the perfect thing that my body wants. So Victor, let's leave some for next week, okay? Just for
Yeah.
everyone who is here, or everyone who will watch this, Victor runs online workshops, and he does immersions at his own place in Brazil as well. We're gonna put when we post this video, we're gonna put the link. So come to his bio or my bio. It's on my website as it is on his website as well. I don't think that we'll find better teachers than that can really understand the different contexts, okay, of that for this new generation. There are all the black belt people who are doing for a long time that I highly recommend people to go and do and learn with them as well. But if you really want to learn online, I highly recommend you to go with Victor. He does amazing. Victor, tell us a little bit more about your course, like a short explanation about your course, how long it is for, and who is that for?
Yeah, man. Look, at the moment we've got two options. I'm developing a third one, which is more of a mentorship. But at the moment there is the online course there, where at the moment I'm running the live session. It's kind of the live module, which runs for 6 months. We are kind of halfway through the second week, the second module. So that one is closed for enrollment, so only next year now. And then there is the perennial version of that one, where people have access to the content, and I do a live monthly session every Saturday. I'm actually having one coming up this Saturday here. So second Saturday of the month, we get together with everybody on the platform and have a nice chat for a couple of hours. So that's really trying to be with people, really not just throw lots of information onto people and then walk away, but really provide in-depth knowledge, but also in-depth support. That's what I needed when I started, and I couldn't find it. That's what I'm trying to offer. But the most exciting program, exciting because it's the newest, let's say, and for the first time in my kind of regen career, which I've been doing for about 22 years now, 10 years, but I was into market gardening, I was into holistic management, I was into biodynamics way before I got into Syntropy. So now I'm trying to bring it all together, because I do find, even though I think Syntropy is very powerful, it is not the only thing out there, and we need more knowledge. It's not, to me, what I found, Syntropy doesn't answer all of the questions. So a new program, which is a traineeship program, is a face-to-face program, is a 3 months program happening right here in Brazil. So for the first time, I managed to have my own land. So we're kind of just going through the process of renovating a little house, a little cottage. So we're going to have 2 people. There is one already booked out, an exciting guy from Australia coming in. So we got 1 spot left for that one. Starting in July, mid-July to mid-October, so 12 weeks is a 12 weeks program in depth. So in which we're going to be doing lots of practice, of course. We gotta put theory into practice, otherwise we don't understand it. And every week we're going to go through, in depth into a specific framework. So we start with holistic management, and then we go into biodynamics, a little bit of permaculture, and of course Syntropic Farming. And then out of that, after the first 4 weeks, I kind of went into some level of detail. Of course, we're not going to become masters of all those big frameworks in a week. But what I want to do is provide a digested, what I find are the key parts of each one of those frameworks and how they relate. And then we move into the more practical aspects of, water cycle restoration. Syntropy will be everywhere, so we're going to be managing my systems. We're going to be implementing new systems with different flavors, some more towards food production, some more towards a system for a cattle, 2 cows that I want to have, some system more ornamental as well, into the entrance of the property and from the family. So different flavors of systems we're going to be working with. And then, of course, mushroom production, natural beekeeping, irrigation science, lots of soil science as well. It's basically 20 years of research that I've been doing that I'm bringing into this program. To me, there is nothing like that in the world.
Wow. I want to sign in. I want to go. I want to join it.
Man, I wish there was that, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because it would have saved me so much time, but so much time and so much money. And that's what I'm trying to provide, because that's what I've been through my life. I think I'm really excited to be able to offer that after such a long time of practice and research. So it's something unique. Of course, it's something that every year gets recreated. The people that come here will help to create because we're going to be doing what they want as well. What if they want to go deeper here or deeper there. So it's really in depth, but with plenty of flexibility to make it real. So
Nice,
yeah,
Victor.
it's exciting.
Okay, so let's leave a little bit more information. I'd love to elaborate more with you about the online course as well, how you run it, but we do that next week. So next Friday here in Australia, Thursday night in Brazil, in America,
Yeah.
we're gonna go live again. And guys, thank you for everyone who joined us. Feel free to fire up some questions for next week as well if you wanna hear more from Victor's journey and my journey, and how to translate that into your own backyard or your own farm. Victor, thank you, legend. Like, man, really, really appreciate it. Let's make more of this. Let's do a few of those videos. I would love. There is so much knowledge, and I think that people need to learn more. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon, eh?
Yeah, man. Look, absolutely. Thank you very much for the encouragement, for the support as well. I reckon we can make that a regular feature. Inviting people in to bringing their questions or their challenges, and we can have a chat. Maybe once a fortnight or once a week or whatever. Let's go with the flow. As long as it's fun for us, it's fun for everybody. I reckon. We have something in our hands to help everybody. But thank you very much. Thank you for all your support. And
Happy
yeah,
days, my friend. Happy days. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week.
absolutely. Love to
See you,
all.
mate. Bye bye. See ya.
Bye.